So, girls, we're going to read a book titled The Name Jar by Yangsook Choi. Yangsook Choi is Korean, okay? Now, before we read the book, I'm going to practice my Vietnamese here a wee second. And I think this is how you. Now, the phrase I'm trying to say in English is we love to read. So it's chung toi tik du sa. We love to read. Is that correct, girls? Chung toi tik du sa. We love to read. Am I saying it correctly, Spring?
Well, please đọc sách. Chúng tôi thích đọc sách.
Chung.
Thì
Okay,
oh, yeah,
chung toi tik.
đọc like or and then use the
Da.
đọc
Da.
the and then đọc or đọc
Dar.
đọc but
So
push it down.
chung toi tik.
Đọc
Da. Da.
like more like an O, like R,
Do.
not
Door.
like an R.
Dar.
Đọc đọc
Dar.
like the dog.
Yeah.
Yes, đọc.
Dog. Dog.
Yeah,
And then sa at the end.
yeah.
Chung toi tik. Do. Sa. We love to read. Can you say that to me again, just one more time before we start reading this text?
Chúng tôi thích đọc sách.
Yay! Okay, and we do love reading. Okay, let's begin. So yes, we're going to read this text, the Korea from a Korean author, and her name is Yangsook Choi. Okay, so do you know who this reminds me of, girls? Tina, I'm sorry, but this reminds me of you because of your hairstyle. It's not a bad thing. I just thought, oh my goodness, Tina. Right, here we go. So, okay, the name jar. Okay, so how will we do this? What we'll do is we'll get Tina to start it off, okay? So Tina, it's a picture book, okay? So can you see the text at the bottom of the page there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take turns reading. So Tina,
Was through their first school bus window. They looked out at the strange building. It houses on the way to her new school. It was her first day, and she was both nervous and excited. She fingered the little block of wood in her pocket and remembered leaving her grandmother at the airport in Korea. Her grandmother had wiped away Eunhae's tears and handed her an ink pad and a small red satin pouch. Your name is inside, she had said. My name, Eunhae had wondered, and she took out the red pouch and looked at the wooden block with her name carved in it. As she ran her fingers along the groups and reaches of the Korean characters, she pictured her grandmother's smile. Is that thing for show and tell? A boy asked Eunhae, surprising her. Eunhae looked up as more kids leaned over. No, it's mine, Eunhae answered, quickly putting the patch back in her pocket. Are you new here? What's your name? A girl asked. Eunhae said Eunhae. The girl asked, scrunching up her face. Unai some kids channel. No. Unai corrected the spell. UNHEI. It's pronounced Yunhei. Oh, it's Yunhei. The boy said, like you hey, what about her you? Just then the bus pulled up to the school and the doors opened. Hey, hurried to get up. You hey, bye bye. The kids yelled as she left. Unhei felt herself blush.
Okay, come on, Tina. Okay, now, Spring, please.
Uh, Yunhei stood in the doorway of her new and noisy classroom. She was relieved that the kid on the bus had gone to all the rooms, but her face still felt red. "Aren't you going in?" asked a curly-haired boy with lots of dots on his face. "You're the new girl, right?" he asked cheerfully. Eunhye nodded, and before she could walk away, the boy took her hand and pulled her through the door. "Here's the new girl," he announced so loudly that the teacher, Mr. Cocotus, almost dropped his glasses. Mr. Cocotus thanked him in greeting. "Eunhye, please welcome our new student," he said to the class. "She and her family just arrived from Korea last week." Eunhye smiled broadly and tried not to show her nervousness. "What's your name?" someone shouted. Eunhye pictured the kids on the bus. I haven't picked one yet, she told the class, "but I'll let you know by next week." As Mr. Cocotus showed her to her desk, she felt many round, curious eyes on her. "Why doesn't she have a name?" she heard someone whisper. "Maybe she robbed a bank in Korea and needs a new identity," a boy replied. On the bus home, nobody teased her, but Eunhye kept thinking about her name. "How's school, Eunhye?" her mother asked when she walked in. "Did you understand the teacher?" Eunhye simply nodded. She unpacked her school bag and set the red couch by a photograph of her grandma. "I'm glad you are learning English well," her mother said. "You must study hard, behave nicely, and get good grades to show that you're a good Korean." "I will," replied Eunhye. But I think I will like my own American name," she said quickly. Her mother looked at her with surprise. "Why, Eunhye is a beautiful name. Your grandma and I went to a name master for it, but it's so hard to pronounce," Eunhye complained. "I don't want to be different from all the American kids." "You are different, Eunhye," her mother said. "That's a good thing." Eunhye just wrinkled her nose.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up. Thank you for. Come on, Spring. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Uh, Later that day, Eunhye and her mother went grocery shopping in their new neighborhood. They passed Fadil's Falafel, Tony's Pizza, and Dot's Deli. A big graffiti painted garbage truck roared like a lion as it took off down the street. Nothing sounded or looked familiar until they got to Kim's Market. The sign was in both English and Korean. Her mother picked up cabbage to make kimchi, Korean style spicy pickled cabbage, and other vegetables and meat. She also found some seaweed, Eunhye's favourite for soup. It made Eunhye smile. Just because we've moved to America, her mother said, doesn't mean we stop eating Korean food. At the checkout counter, a friendly man smiled at Eun-hye. Helping your mother with the shopping, he asked. Eun-hye nodded. I'm Mr. Kim, he said. And what is your name? Eun-hye, she answered. Ah, what a beautiful name, he said. Doesn't it mean grace? Eun-hye nodded again. My mother and grandmother went to a name master for it, she told him. A graceful name for a graceful girl, Mr. Kim said, as he put the groceries into bags. Welcome to the neighbourhood, Eun-hye. Okay, and Tina, please, Tina, could you continue reading, please?
That evening, Eun-hye stood in front of the bathroom mirror. Hi, my name is Amanda, she said cheerfully. Then she wrinkled her nose. Hi, my name is Laura. Maybe not. Her smile turned down. Not so right, not so right. I don't think American kids will like me, she worried as she began to brush her teeth. Hi, nah, my name is Susie, she said to the mirror with her mouth full of toothpaste. The next morning, when Eun-hye arrived to school, she found a glass jar on her desk with some pieces of paper in it. Eun-hye took one out and read it aloud. Daisy. That's my baby sister's nickname, but she said you can use it if you want, said Cindy, who sat next to her. When I took out the rest of the paper, Jamila, she read. I got it from a storybook, said Nate. She was smart and brave. And he nodded and unfolded another piece. Wednesday. Yeah, you came here from Wednesday, said Rolf. Thank you for your help. A smile spread over his face. Ralph quickly said, we'll put more names in it. You can pick whatever you like or pick them all, and you'll have the longest name in the history.
Come on, Tina. Okay, so spring, please.
At 3 o'clock, the bell rang for the end of the school day. Yoon-hye looked out the window and saw it was sprinkling. It's the same rain, she thought, but in a different place. She watched all the kids living in groups. Hey, a familiar voice called out to her. Yoon-hye turned around to see the curly-haired boy again. I'm Joey, and he said, and you, don't you have any name? Yoon-hye thought for a moment. Well, I can show you, she said, and took out the small red pouch. She pressed the wooden block on the ink pad and then stamped it on a piece of paper. This is my name stamp, she said. My grandma gave it to me in Korea. I can use it as a signature when I open a bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it? She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper. The red characters gleamed against the whiteness. Wow, that is beautiful, Joey said. Can I keep the paper? Sure, Yoon-hye said, and then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. Every day the jar got fuller with more names, and Yoon-hye read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda, Stella, Avery. They sounded interesting. I hope you choose the name I put in, Marco told her at snack time. I put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park, Alex. They're my favorite street name. Maybe you should close your eyes and draw a name, Rosie suggested. Ralph frowned. That is silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. Everyone thought about this.
Come on, Spring. Okay. When Unhai got home from school that day, her little brother ran to give her a letter. It was from her grandma. She opened it quickly. It said, "To my Unhai, I hope you are enjoying your new school and new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here the moon is up, but there the sun is up. No matter how far apart we are, and no matter how different America is from Korea, you'll always be my Unhai, your grandma forever." Unhai took out her wooden stamp and filled a paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of the bathroom mirror. On Saturday, Unhai walked to Mr. Kim's store. Mr. Kim was helping a customer, but he looked up and greeted her. "Hi, Unhai." "Hello, Mr. Kim," Unhai replied. She felt as if she was back in her old neighborhood in Korea. "Hey," said the customer, turning around. It was Joey. "Your name is Unhee?" he asked her with his eyes open wide. Unhai looked quickly at Mr. Kim and then turned to Joey. She nodded slowly. "Yes, it's pronounced Yun Hai." "And it means grace," Mr. Kim added. "Yun Hai," Joey said slowly, and this time perfectly. It made Yun Hai smile. "I have it ready for you tomorrow," said Mr. Kim to Joey. "Thank you, Mr. Kim. See you Monday, Unhai," Joey said to her. He left before she could ask him why he was at the store. Tina, please. Tina.
On Monday, Yoon Hai came to class to look at the names one last time, but the jar wasn't on her desk. Instead, there was just a single piece of paper with a name on it. Yoon Hai slipped it in her pocket. "Where's your name jar?" Ralph asked as soon as he saw it was gone. "I don't know," Yoon Hai said. "It wasn't on Mr. Coco's desk or on any other desk, and it wasn't on the counters or any of the shelves." As the as the other kids arrived, they helped look. Soon Mr. Cocotos came in and Ralph shouted at him, "The name jar is gone, the jar with all the names in it." "Gone?" Mr. Cocotos replied. With a look of concern, he asked Yoon-hae, "Did you get a chance to read all the names?" Yoon-hae nodded. She took a breath. "I'm ready to introduce myself," she said. Yoon-hae wrote her name in both English and Korean on a chalkboard. "I like the beautiful names and funny names you thought of for me," she told the class, "but I realized I like my name, Yoon-hae."
Okay, thank you. And then, Spring, could you finish off the text? Oh, she likes it better. Sorry, let me just get you to read from the start of that quote. But I realized.
But I realized that I like my name best, so I chose it again. Korean names mean something. Behind mean grace, grace in high. Shouted Ralph. Everyone tried to say it. You, ha, you, ye, Yunhe. Yunhe said her name again slowly and clearly. Soon the kids began to say it better. Even Mr. Curtis. They applauded Yunhe's choice. "I was named after a flower," Rosie whispered to Yunhai. "Lots of American names have meaning too," Mr. Focuses reminded everyone. When the class was dismissed, Yunhan heard her new friends say goodbye. "Bye, Yunhan. See you tomorrow." "Goodbye," Yunhan. Yunhan said goodbye and then looked around for Joey, but he was already gone.
Thank you. And continuing on, Spring.
Yunhai, Yunhai, come downstairs. Mother called to Yunhai. Your friend is here. Yunhai rushed down to see who she meant. There stood Joey, and in his arms was the name jar. Where did you find it? Asked Yunhai breathlessly. Joey looked embarrassed. Well, I took it, but only because I wanted you to keep your own name. And you did? He reached in and pulled out the names. You want to keep them? Yes. Thank you. I'll keep them as a souvenir. And Han said happily. Then she pulled out a piece of paper from her pocket. Do you want this back? Joey grinned. Right. You can keep it. I'll return the name jar to the class. Maybe you could put some Korean nicknames in it for us. Names with good meanings. I could do that, agreed Anhan. I've already got a Korean nickname, Joey said. Mr. Kim helped me choose it. Carefully, he pulled a small silver felt pouch from his pocket. Then he took out a dark wooden stamp with beautiful Korean characters carved sharply into it. He pressed it on the ink pad and then on the piece of paper next to her name. Chinku, Wittgenheim, that means friends. And Chinku smiled back.
The end. And I have to say, students, that was very well read. I thoroughly enjoyed reading that with you today. What did you think of the text? What did you think of the story? Did you enjoy it? I thought it was great reading it with you. Spring, do you have any thoughts? What was the story about?
Yes, the the kid from other country, like our other race, come to a new foreign school, a new country, and they accept her, try to make her feel like home.
Yeah, so Unhai and her encounters with the other students in America, wasn't it? The American kids who struggled to pronounce her name correctly. Isn't that right? And it was an interesting story. Now, could you relate to that in any way? I know that you're studying. You know, you're obviously a student, a Vietnamese student in Vietnam, studying in Vietnam. So, how do you think you would feel if you were in Unhai's shoes?
I'll be very happy and thankful that the spring try so hard to make me feel comfortable. They try to pronounce my name correctly so that I will be called correctly the right name that I love. I will be very happy.
Okay, so what about you, Tina? Can you summarize the story to us and tell me, Tina, what's this Mirinda? Oh, do you like that name?
They don't need to choose Miranda because Mirinda.
And what about the story? What about that we read today? The name jar. Did you like the story, Tina? The name jar.
Yes.
I enjoyed reading it as well. Now, obviously, I've not been to Korea, but I have a book by a Korean author, Han Kang. I think I showed this before, but which I'm currently reading. And look at this! Isn't this cool? Look, there's got Korean down the side of the book. Korea's not a country I'm familiar with, but I would know more about Vietnam than most Asian countries. I know also about different regions and Vietnam and a bit about the history of Vietnam, and obviously I'm still getting myself familiar with the Vietnamese language. I'm doing well though. I'm students. I'm doing well with this the learning the Vietnamese. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Here's another thing as well. Spring and Tina, you have different ways of saying things, don't that as a lay person, basically you have different ways of saying different words. You know, north and south pronounce words differently, don't they? Yeah. Van?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, teacher.
Okay, so that concludes our story. Okay, so I'll just stop that recording, and thank you very much, students, for reading that.